Hey everybody, I'm Nick Shaw, owner of Renaissance Periodization. This is my wife Lori, and we're coming out with a cookbook here in a couple weeks later this month. And we're going to demo a recipe today for you. And that is about the extent of my cooking knowledge, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Lori to kind of walk you guys through, and she'll explain the first recipe.
And I'm not going to let Nick go very far because I'm going to put him to work today. So we are going to demo chocolate avocado pudding, which is amazing, and it's on the cover. So you see that beautiful chocolate piped stuff on the cover of the cookbook. That's chocolate avocado pudding, and it tastes amazing. You cannot taste avocados, all you taste is chocolate. So that's what we're going to do today. So this is all you're going to need to do it, and it all goes in here. So it's a very quick and easy recipe. So the first thing we're going to do is cut up these avocados. And you're going to need 1.5. I know that's kind of annoying to have a half one left over, but you'll find something to do with it, I'm sure. And this is a little tip to get the pit out of your avocado. You just whack it really good with a knife and twist it, and it comes right out. So that part is a little bit helpful. I'm gonna reach around you and get a spoon, and you just wanna scrape out all the stuff. And you really wanna try to get almost ripe avocados. So you don't want the really brown, mushy ones, but you don't want the really light green, pretty ones, because those just aren't gonna give you that really creaminess that you're gonna want in this pudding. So you wanna really get one that's nice and soft like this one is. And I am gonna put Nick to work after this. I figure he wouldn't wanna get his hands dirty in the avocado, so I'll do that first, and then I'll let him do everything else. We're gonna do, there's one down, and then one, twist, and then I won't show you the cool trick again, we'll just use this side, because I probably wouldn't be able to do it as well the second time. So, we've got, our 1.5 avocados in here. All right, the next thing that you want is 6 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. That is this. So you can just dump that in, 6 tablespoons of that, right in there. And then this is 6 tablespoons of a sugar-free syrup. So you can use any flavor you want. I use Tirani syrups all the time, the sugar-free stuff. If you are freaked out by the sugar-free stuff, you don't have to use it. It's obviously gonna add a lot of really nice sweet flavor, but you can use any flavor. So this is coconut, because it's the first one I reached for out of my gigantic collection of sugar-free Tiranis this morning. So that's what we're gonna use. So you can very carefully, don't spill it, pour that in. And then we're gonna go with 1/4 cup of evaporated goat milk. And this is not as hard to find as you might think. It's right with all the other evaporated milks, and it looks just like this. But there's nothing that is special about it. It actually has about the same macros as regular evaporated milk, so you can use that, it's totally fine. I just wanted to experiment with as much fun things as I could when I was making the cookbook, so I settled on goat milk. Pour that in. Very good. And then we're gonna go with a teaspoon of instant coffee granules or espresso powder. This is espresso powder. You know, you can buy it with the coffee. I'm sure you've seen it before. So you just need a teaspoon of that. You can dump that in, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's it. And everything goes in there. I'm gonna grab a spatula, and you can put those in the sink, helper. And then we just want to process this a lot. It's gonna be loud. And you can see these chunks right here. You don't want that. So you want to keep kind of babying this, pushing it down in to get everything down in there, and you just want to keep processing it until it's super, super smooth. That's also why you want to use the almost ripe avocados, because if you use a really green one, you're just gonna keep those chunks. And they're fine, they would taste okay, but you're better off getting a really, really, really nice and smooth consistency. All right, and that's what you wanna do. You just wanna keep doing that. I'm not gonna keep doing it, but you can keep doing that until you get a really, really perfect, smooth consistency. So that's what it looks like. I'll show it to you so you can see it. I'll put it over here. but it looks just like chocolate and it tastes just like chocolate. It's amazing. So I made some up yesterday, and we'll have the whole recipe for you with the ingredients and the macros and everything at the end. So you'll have all that stuff. But basically, this recipe, if you divide it into 8 portions, it's gonna be a half a serving of fat and pretty much no carbs or protein in it. So this is really a fat source for you. And if you do 8 portions, you're gonna get a half of a serving per. If you do 4 servings like I did when I made this yesterday, it's a full serving of fat per. And I'll give you a little tip that I use so that I don't have to try and remember how much of a recipe has how many macros in it. But anyway, I just use these refrigerator labels and I just write the macros on here. So I put 2214 because this has 2 grams of protein, 2 grams of net carbs, and 14 grams of fat per serving. So I put that on there so that when I grab something out of the fridge, I don't have to think about it. I know exactly how many macros are in there. And I'll show you what it looks like, but I portioned mine out last night. And so after it spends the night in the fridge, this is definitely something you don't want to eat right away. It's much better after spending the night in the fridge. And it's like this. So it's super thick. It's awesome. It's really creamy. It looks great and it's awesome. And I always put a little bit of coarse salt on the top of mine because I like that salty sweet thing. You don't have to do it, but after I make it, I usually just put a little bit of salt like that on it. And I'll just stir it in when I eat it. And that's it. So it's super easy and fast. It's great. I hope you like it.